Okay, let's take a start with Ielts speaking part 1. I'm going to ask you some questions. Did you go on picnic when you were a child?
Yes, I used to go to a picnic during my childhood with my parents in winter and spring season.
Okay, this is a very short answer and you spoke with so many pauses. Right? For example, did you go on a picnic when you were a child? Yes, in my childhood, I used to go for picnic with my parents. I still remember every Sunday we used to go for picnic to different places, sometimes gardens, sometimes park. So to answer your question, when I was a child, I used to go to picnic on regular basis. Right, like this
Yes.
complete answer with all the details, so that examiner should not need to say why and all that. How often do you go on picnic now?
Now, because of Corona pandemic, we are not going for a picnic this year, but we used to go for a picnic once in a year before Corona pandemic.
Okay, so you can add some more here. Where do you usually go on a picnic?
Actually, I live in Lahore city, so we used to go in
We usually go.
we
This
usually
question is in present. We usually go.
we usually go to Rana Resort and Lahore Zoo for picnic, and we we enjoyed there.
We enjoy there. Okay, this is again a short answer. You need to add at least 2 to 3 more sentences to your answer. What is the difference between a picnic and cooking at home?
There is a lot of difference between cooking at home and in a picnic. The view and scenery um increases the pleasure of food and makes it more delicious than at home.
Than eating a meal at home. Okay, all right, thank you. Now let's move on. I'm going to ask you some questions. Do you make a list when you go out for shopping?
Yes, of course. I like to make a list because I'm not good at remember things. So I
I'm not good at remembering things.
remembering things. So I make a list of things, which helps me when I go to bazaar uh, uh, to brought things
To buy
to buy
things or to
things
purchase
to
things. Okay,
purchase
and
things.
instead of bazaar, you can use the word
So
market.
your question to answer, I like to make list.
No, to answer your question. And you should not say it every time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you say to answer your question.
Ye-
Sometimes to reply to your
Reply your
query.
answer.
Sometimes you say as you have asked me.
Ye-
So like that,
Yeah.
okay? All right, let's go on. Do you make a list for your work or study also?
Yes, no, I do not always make a list for work. Sometimes I make a list for studies when I think I have to do some personal work. So I make a list.
Okay, I
Fine,
make a list, otherwise I don't.
I don't.
All right, why don't some people like making lists?
Some people like making list.
Some people don't like.
Some people don't like making list because they are good to remember things.
They
So
are good at
at
remembering things, or they
remember
have a good memory.
they have a good memory, so they have not to make
They do not make.
they do not make list
Okay,
of
they do
that.
not make lists of things. So try to conclude
Yes,
with one sentence as well. Okay, do you prefer to make a list on paper or on your mobile phone?
I prefer
I prefer.
I prefer to make a list on my mobile phone app because uh, I lose my list when I make it on paper, and I lose it a bit into pieces.
Okay, so therefore I always prefer to make a list on my smartphone
Yeah.
because it is always with me.
Yes.
One sentence conclusion like this will add more, right?
Yes. Yes.
Overall, it is good, but just need to add some more sentences
Yes,
to
sir.
it. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thanks a
very
lot.
much.